Let's run the buzzers, please. Yes. All right. Here we go. Oh, Captain Pikeville. All right. Toss up 1. This body of water borders the ancient city of Hyrcania and the royal palace of Zabrakarta. This body of water forms the Garabogaz Bay, and the Asperon Peninsula juts into it. This lake is home to the Kutum fish, which was the original habitat of the zebra mussel, and the Alborz Mountains. Yes?
By call.
No penalty. And the Alborz Mountains lie to its south, fed by the Ural and Volga rivers. For 10 points, identify the sea that is the largest lake in the world and is bordered by Turkmenistan. Oh, yes?
Caspian.
10 bonus. Answer these questions about the Bronte sisters for 10 points each. What only novel by Emily Bronte is set at Thrushcross Grange and profiles the love affair between Heathcliff and Catherine Earnshaw?
Wuthering Heights.
The title character meets her love Edward Weston while visiting the quarry near the Murray estate in what first novel by Anne Bronte?
And Walpole Hall.
No, Captain. Agnes Grey, the other one. What surname was used by the Bronte sisters when they wrote under the pen names Acton, Kerr, and Ellis?
Bell.
20 points. Toss up. One type of these cells was discovered in an organ known as the bursa of Fabricius in birds, and diapedesis is the process by which they enter tissue. The least abundant type of these cells release heparin and histamine, and types of these cells include basophils and neutrophils. For 10 points, B cells and T cells are types of what larger groups of cells that, yes?
Osteocytes.
No penalty. What larger group of cells that facilitate the immune response? Yes?
Helper.
No, I can take leukocytes or just white blood cells. Leukocytes or just white blood cells. Toss up 3. So, toss up 2 is dead. And toss up 3. This author wrote a novel about a man using one of the heteronyms of Fernando Pessoa entitled The Year of the Death of Ricardo Reyes. This author described the Iberian Peninsula breaking off of Europe in his novel The Stone Raft, and wrote about a country in which no one can die in death with interruptions. His best-known novel is about a town that suffers a mass epidemic of the title condition. For 10 points, name this Portuguese author of blindness. Time.
Saramago.
Saramago. One of like 2 Portuguese authors quiz bowl players need to know. Toss up 4. This war began after the violation of the London Straits Convention. The Battle of Sinope was a turning point in this war, and saw Roger Fenton produce major photography to furnish it. Lord Raglan was one British leader in this war that saw a siege of Sebastopol. This war, yes?
Javier.
That's 10 bonus. Answer these questions about Asian rivers for 10 points each. A possibly extinct dolphin is native to what Chinese river that is the longest in Asia?
Yangtze.
What river that is sacred to Hindus empties into the Bay of Bengal after passing through Bangladesh and India?
Ganges.
What river that merges with the Ganges before emptying into the Bay of Bengal is known as the Jamuna River in Bangladesh and notably flows through Tibet?
Brahmaputra.
30. Learn the geography, Blair. Toss up 5. The Babysitter's Mystery Number 12 book is mentioned throughout episodes of this show. Yes?
Stranger Things.
No penalty. The protagonist of this show meets a Vietnamese immigrant while attending GED classes to complete the 8th grade. While at a nightclub, the protagonist of this show had her $13,000 mole fund stolen from a JanSport backpack. For 10 points, name this Netflix show that stars Ellie Kemper and portrays the life of the title character after years locked up by Reverend Richard Wayne Gary Wayne. That's time. It's the unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
Toss up 6. The Biot-Savart law is a direct analog of this law for steady-state currents, and this law's constant is the inverse of the product of 4 pi and the permittivity of free space. The electrical analog of Newton's law of gravitation is, for 10 points, what inverse square law that relates the electric force to point charges, and is it, yes?
Coulomb's law.
10 bonus. And then, identify these works of music by Russian composers for 10 points each. In the Tale of Tsar Sultan, Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov included what interlude named for an insect after an insect that Prince Kvidon is transformed into. This piece includes the Infernal Dance and an oboe, This piece includes the Infernal Dance, and an oboe represents 13 princesses. This Igor Stravinsky piece In this Igor Stravinsky piece, Prince Ivan destroys an egg. That sentence is not English.
The Firebird?
Yes. Svetozar's banquet hall hosts the wedding of the title characters in what opera by Mikhail Glinka?
Nope. No.
No.
The Boyars?
No, Ruslan and Ludmila. Ruslan and Ludmila. So 20 points in the
Who
bonus.
was the composer?
Mikhail Glinka, Glinka.
Alright, thank you.
No problem. Believe me, I understand. Toss up 7. Spear Spencer was one of the first casualties of this battle while he was serving as the commander of the Yellow Jackets. This battle that caused the collapse of the Red Stick Confederacy ended with the flight of Tenskwatawa and the sacking of Prophetstown. For 10 points, identify this 1811 battle that saw the defeat of Tecumseh's forces and gave rise to a, yes?
Battle of the Thames.
No, and gave rise to a nickname for William Henry Harrison. Yes? 10 bonus. Bonus? Name these scientists for 10 points each. What man used binomial nomenclature and is known as the father of modern taxonomy?
Linnaeus.
What man invented the first vaccine after realizing that milkmaids who worked around cows rarely contracted smallpox?
Pasteur.
No, Captain? Jenner, yeah. What scientist who discovered the decay of carbon-14 is known for co-discovering the neutron along with James Chadwick? Answer? No, Captain.
Thompson.
No, Ernest Rutherford. So 10 points on each side. And toss up 8. This figure avenged Nicandra by causing Alcino to fall in love with another man, and the birth of Erichthonius was a result of Hephaestus' failed rape of this figure. She gifted an olive tree to one city, and Medusa's head was placed on her aegis. This, yes?
Athena.
10 bonus. Answer these questions about works by European authors for 10 points each. Oscar Wilde wrote this play in which Algernon Moncrief and Jack Worthing discussed an alias that Worthing goes by in the country. Answer?
Important speaking arts.
And just in time. Revolt and Spleen and Ideal are sections of this poetry collection by Charles Baudelaire. Answer? No. Kevin? No, La Fleur de Mal, or the Flowers of Evil. The line, "Who, if I cried out, would hear me among the angelic orders," appears in what 10-poem collection by Rainier Maria Rilke and was written while the author stayed at the namesake castle?
Castle for Lutron.
Incorrect, Captain. They're called the Duino Elegies. Duino Elegies. 10 points. And toss up 9. This poem takes its name from a line in Charles Dickens' work, Our Mutual Friend. This poem's third section includes the character Flavius the Phoenician, while its second section includes the line, "Hurry up, please, it's time." Sections of this poem are entitled, yes?
Wasteland.
15 bonus. Tenzin Gyatso is the current leader of the Tibetan form of this religion. For 10 points each, identify this religion that recognizes 4 noble truths and was founded by Siddhartha Gautama.
Buddhism.
Gyatso leads Tibetan Buddhism while serving in this position. He's the 14th person to hold this position.
Dalai Lama.
This sect of Buddhism studies the Tripitaka and has a name meaning teaching of the elders. Answer? No, Captain. Theravada. So 20, 10. Toss up 10, last of the half. During this president's administration, the Federal Trade Commission and Federal Reserve were established, and the first Jewish Supreme Court Justice, Louis Brandeis, was appointed. The Underwood Tariff and the Clayton Antitrust Act were signed during his administration, and he won re-election because he kept us out of war. For 10 points, yes? No. For 10 points, identify this president who served throughout World War I. Yes?
Wilson.
10 bonus. Answer the following questions about ancient Greek sculptures for 10 points each. What sculptor of the Otricoli mask is better known for sculpting the statue of Zeus at Olympia? Answer? No answer? Captain Phidias. Phidias. What other ancient Greek sculptor is best known for a piece where a small figure leans over for some grapes? His Hermes with the infant Dionysus. Answer? Captain?
Moderate.
No, Praxiteles. Praxiteles.
Can you spell that, please?
I will after the game.
Okay.
Remind me. Praxiteles is also known for sculpting Aberdeen and Leconfield versions of what human body part? Answer
The head.
for 20. Bonus?
Praxiteles.
Yeah, that.
It's for Ken.
Oh, right, you missed 50th. 10, 10. I'm so sorry. Yes, 10. So I have a halftime score of 155, Grayson A, 70, Pikeville B. We agree on the score, coaches?
Okay. I must have messed up somewhere.
What do you have?
I had 135, but
Did you get the 20 for the last?
yes, I think I messed up on question 9.
Okay, yeah, question 9, I have 15
Yeah.
and 20. Yeah. Coaches, would you like a moment? Shall we press on?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, shall we?
Keep it up.
We shall press on. Toss-up 11. This composer worked with his students Albert Dietrich and Johannes Brahms on the four-movement FAE Sonata. This composer of the Dichterliebe included a Traumerei movement in his Scenes from Childhood collection. Felix Mendelssohn conducted this man's Spring Symphony, and he quoted Papillon in his piece Carnaval. Another piece by this composer takes place at Cologne Cathedral. For 10 points, identify this husband of Clara, who was the composer of... Yes?
Robert Schumann.
That's 10, bonus. Answer these questions about the 2016 Rio Olympics for 10 points each. Hope you watched. What U.S. female swimmer set 4 Olympic records and 1 world record, including a win in the 800-meter freestyle by almost 8 seconds? Yes. What male swimmer and 12-time Olympic medalist was ordered to turn over his passport by Brazilian police after he falsely alleged to have been... Yes. What Argentine tennis player won a silver medal in men's tennis after upsetting Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal before losing the finals to Andy Murray? No, Captain?
Smithy Air.
No. Juan Martín del Potro. So 20 points on the bonus. Toss up 12. This man discussed language modifiers known as autoclitics in one work, while in another work he wrote about T.E. Frazier and 5 others leading a community that follows a namesake code. He planned the use of pigeon-guided missiles during World War II, and he wrote both... Yes?
B.F. Skinner.
10 bonus. Uruguay, Argentina, and Brazil teamed up in a 19th century conflict for 10 points each. Name that conflict in which the aforementioned countries joined forces to defeat Paraguay.
War of Triple Alliance.
Brazilian troops during the conflict were led by this emperor of Brazil who reigned from 1831 to 1889.
João first.
Say again?
João.
No, Captain.
João.
No, it's Pedro II. Pedro II. The conflict raged for 14 months until what Paraguayan leader was killed at the Battle of Sarapora, thus bringing an end to the event.
Perot.
No, Captain?
Pedro II.
No. Francisco Solano Lopez. So 10 points on the bonus. Toss up 13. This architect used a hexagon grid in his Hannah Honeycomb house and would also design the Baghdad Opera House. One of his buildings can be found in Oak Park, Illinois, and is called the Unity Temple. Well, yes,
Right?
15 bonus.
Right.
This mythological figure was the mother of Merope and Calypso, for 10 points each, named as Titan, sentenced to hold the earth on his shoulders.
Alice.
Yeah. These nymphs were the daughters of Atlas and guarded the golden apples that were retrieved by Heracles.
Hesperides.
Yes, this Greek Titan was the brother of Atlas and was responsible for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man. 30 points. Toss up 14. A process known as salikana, which is suicide by fasting, is allowed in this religion that performs the Namokar mantra. Rishaba was the first in a group of 24 people in this religion known as Kirthankaras, and its Dikambara sect practices nudity. Yes? 10 bonus. Identify the following art movements for 10 points. One painting from this movement includes 2 boxers and is entitled Stag at Sharkies. This art movement included George Bellows and Edward Hopper. Answer? No answer, Captain.
Realism.
At the Ashcan School. One artist from this movement created many depictions of Jackson City, Missouri. This art movement included Thomas Benton and Grant Wood. Answer?
Realism.
Yes, I'll take it. Regionalism, yes. The manifesto of this movement claimed we want to glorify war and was written by Filippo Marinetti. This art movement is exemplified by unique forms of continuity in space by Umberto Boccioni.
Mannerism.
No, okay.
Futurism.
Futurism, so 20 points over here. Toss up 15. This man, a member of the Argead dynasty, once had his life saved at the Battle of Granicus. He married Roxanne, a Sakian princess, after his expedition to Susa. This owner of the horse Bucephalus defeated... Yes? Great. 15 bonus. This story opens with Cherokee Sal giving birth to the title character. For 10 points each, identify the short story that ends with the death of Kintuck. Answer? Nothing. Captain?
Native American dialect.
No. The Luck of Roaring Camp, which is a short story by this American author of The Outcasts of Poker Flat. Answer? Captain or Bret Hart. The Outcasts of Poker Flat ends with the suicide of what character who pins a note and a 2 of clubs to a tree before his death? Answer? Nothing? Captain? No, John Oakhurst. So 10 points over here on the bonus. Sorry. Toss up 16. In one scene from this novel, 3 people see a meteor screaming across the sky while standing atop a scaffold. One character in this novel is invited to a witches' gathering by Mistress Hibbins. One character in this novel has a daughter named Pearl with Arthur Dimmesdale. Yes, letter 10 bonus. Identify the following biological molecules for 10 points each. What structural protein can be found in human skin, hair, and nails?
Keratin.
What molecule gives the hair, skin, and eyes their pigmentation?
Melanin.
Yes. And making up the microfilaments of the cytoskeleton, what protein slides along myosin during muscle contraction?
Actin.
30.
Time out, please.
Timeout. I have a score of 195 to 20.
That's what I have.
All right. Both sides ready to resume?
Yep.
All right. Toss up 17. Good luck, guys. A rectangle consisting of two 2x1 rectangles with a unit square in the middle can be used to tile this object that can give rise to paradromic rings. 2 of these shapes are formed by cutting a Klein bottle, and conveyor belts often take this shape. For 10 points, yes? No penalty. For 10 points, identify this non-orientable surface that can be formed by taping together the ends of a paper strip after giving it a twist. Yes?
Mobius.
Yes, I can take that because I've said strip. So 10 points. The foreword to this work was written by Franz Boas. For 10 points each, identify this work that focuses on the development of adolescent girls on the island of Tau.
Coming of age on Samoa.
No, Captain?
Coming of age in Samoa.
In Samoa. I can't take on Samoa. Coming of Age in Samoa is a work by what American anthropologist who also wrote... Say it again?
Margaret Mead.
Yes. Coming of Age in Samoa was criticized as fateful hoaxing by what New Zealand anthropologist who claimed that Mead had been lied to while conducting her study? Answer? No. Captain? No. Derek Friedman. So 10 points over. 10 points to both sides in the bonus. Toss up 18. One figure in this painting was also the subject of the artist's portrait, head of a Negro. Two men in white shirts almost fall while trying to reach out to a figure in the foreground of this painting. This painting includes Morro Castle in the background of a scene that takes place in Havana Harbor. One of the title figures in this painting ended up losing his right leg after this real-life event. For 10 points, identify this painting of an attack at sea, the masterpiece of John Singleton Copley. Yes?
Ray Steve Speed.
No, no. Time. It's called Watson and the Shark. Watson and the Shark. Toss up 19. Pencil-like pedicellariae are characteristic of organisms in this phylum, and pinocytic cells in organisms in this phylum are produced by Tiedemanns bodies, taking in their food through a madreporite. This phylum contains an organism with a large set of teeth known as Aristotle's lantern. A water vascular system, pentaradial symmetry, and 2 feet are characteristic of. For 10 points. Yes? 10 bonus. That was Noah. Bonus. Answer the following questions about astronomy for 10 points each. What rapidly revolving neutron stars emit bursts of radiation?
Pulsar?
What objects are powered by accretion disks formed from a supermassive black hole and are classified as radio quiet or radio loud?
Quasar?
2gm over c squared is the equation of what length scale black holes form when an object's size decreases below this scale?
Smith scale.
No, Captain?
Stoltzman.
No, it's the Schwarzschild radius. Schwarzschild radius. So 20 points. Toss up 20. This author wrote about Marianne McAlpin, who starts to lose her sanity after getting engaged in her first novel, The Edible Woman. Well, yes?
Margaret Atwood.
15 bonus. This group was formed in 1241 after an alliance between Lübeck and Hamburg. For 10 points each, name this German medieval trade union that dominated the North and Baltic seas. Answer? No, Captain.
The Hanseatic League.
Hanseatic League, yes. The Hanseatic League gained control of the Baltic Sea when it forced what nation's King Valdemar IV to sign the Treaty of Stralsund.
What country is
Answer?
Austria.
No, Captain.
Poland.
No, Denmark. The Hanseatic League was expelled from London in 1597 by what British Queen, who seized control of their base known as the Steel Yard.
Elizabeth I.
20 no, 10 points and 10 points.
What was it?
Wait.
Yeah, so
It
10
didn't bounce,
points.
but it didn't bounce back. He missed it and didn't bounce back.
No, he got Elizabeth first.
Oh, was it, okay,
Yeah, it was
sorry.
So I'm saying 10 points over here for
Got it,
Elizabeth first, 10
sorry.
points over here for Hanseatic League.
Had to record it in
And
my
I
head.
have a
Oh,
final score of 285 for Grayson and 225 for Pikeville. Good game, guys. Very good game.
On the 13th century trade.
I ain't even had